And obviously there are a series of unspoken rules.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't be late.
Right.
You have to do your homework to the best of your ability.
Right.
I'm not saying you're always going to be able to, but there has to be some effort put into it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have, your gear needs to be in great shape. You
Mm-hmm.
can't have problems with your gear. Or if you do have problems with your gear, you have to be very quick in repairing them
Right.
on the spot.
Right.
And you have to be a guy that people want to be around.
Right.
With.
Right. Yeah.
And that I learned touring, because the majority of the time you spend on a tour is either on the bus, on the green room,
Uh-huh.
dressing room, airport,
Mm-hmm.
airplane, hotel.
Yeah.
You spend maybe 2 hours a night on a stage.
Mm-hmm.
And 22.
Mm-hmm.
So the other 22, how you handle people, how you
Mhm,
relate
absolutely.
to people, how easy you are to get along. That's,
Yeah.
I remember,
Yeah.
you know, one of the first big gigs that I got was because of that. It was not because I played better than the guy. He was a way better guitar player than I was in, you know,
Mhm.
playing Brazilian music. But he was lacking in these other
Right. Right.
departments.
Right. Right.
And as much as I don't like saying this, in LA there has to be some sort of you have to have a visual identity,
Correct.
and that has not to do with just visual. That has to do with what you said of finding out who you are.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because once you do, then
It just translates.
it just comes out.
Yeah.
You can't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
This is who I am, and you're
Yeah.
gonna show up, and that's gonna come with you.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of owning your strengths and owning your weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know, and as a musician and as a person and as everything, you know, and if somebody calls you to do like, hey, you call me tomorrow, hey, I have to do a cover of Debussy, I'm not gonna tell you, dude, I'm sorry, either you give me a month to study it or I'm not your guy, you know. And on the same way, if you call me for something, you know, it's just really knowing who you are and not pretending anything else.
Right.
I think honesty comes through in all regards. No,
Yeah.
it pays off. It's better to turn down a gig and be honest
Right.
than, you know.
Yeah, hey, you know what? This is not me.
Yeah.
But I can recommend you these two other guys who
Right.
will nail the gig.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but economically, I think, at least in Brazil, from the experience I have, you try to
Yeah.
hug everything, and
Mhm.
like we say there, and do as much as you can, because you know
Right.
that's
Yeah,
that's the mentality we have
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But here is different. Here, if I am not able to do a gig, I'll gladly recommend somebody.
Right. Because there's always going to be another
Yeah.
door. There's enough. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And also, I don't want I don't want to recommend somebody that's going to be worse than I am,
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
because, it's, hey man, you sent me somebody that couldn't even play.
Right. Right.
That's bad on it looks bad on me.
Yeah.
Not on the guy who couldn't play, because he doesn't know.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's that comes from that competition thing. It was like, well, I'm not going to send the best guy because I'm
right.
afraid he's going to take my gig away. It's like, dude, it's not your gig.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely.
It's not your gig.
It's about trust. Again, it's about knowing that. And just to wrap it up, maybe do you want to talk about a little bit of your experience, or when I called you to record in the album, I actually didn't want you to be a guitar player. I want you
Right.
to be an artist. So we talked about doing Meu Sonho, which is the song about having a conversation, which you came up with a great
Right,
version of this
with your dream.
With your dream, no? And
Well, it was the same thing. It was when we were recording at Capitol, and Al Schmidt's recording, and all these great musicians are there playing. I'm like, man, and I have to sing and play, and I'm like, all right, well,
Right.
I'm here. You called me. It was because you trusted that I could do the job, and I'm going to do the best that I can.
right.
And it was intimidating, but at the same time, it was great, because it was.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about working here, because you're always pushed
Right.
out of your comfort zone.
Right.
and you have to figure it out, or you won't make it.
Right.
So you have to make something happen. And to me, that's the, you know, here we don't have rehearsal. You just show up and you play the
show
gig.
up and you just need to just
Play the
get
gig.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, and then for that session, I love, I mean, the whole project, I always try as much as I can to record everybody together, because I
Yeah.
feel like the energy is so much different than when you do overdubs
Yeah,
and
of
stuff.
course, of course.
I mean, it is a little harder to do, but it's so worth it, you know, at the end of the day.
Well, you have to step up.
Right. Because everybody has to be present. It forces everybody to, like you were saying, to have this community mentality.
And not only that, nowadays everything's being filmed. So not only you have to be there, you kind of, you have to you have to develop this mental ability to not be distracted by perhaps the camera is going this way.
Right.
Or there's another person there. And if they're doing a good job, they're being invisible.
Right.
Right? Because that's they're capturing something without making themselves being noticed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is an intrusive thing, because you're there creating. It's a very vulnerable.
It's a very vulnerable space.
Because you're
Exposed.
you're exposed. You're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, and you're gonna embarrass yourself.
Right.
And we're terrified of being embarrassed because, oh my God, how am I gonna survive that? So it's an extra layer of pressure. It's great.
Right.
It's great, and I think it's and I was extremely grateful for that, because it's to be called to write a song and not to just, I just want you to play guitar, because that's what I've been, you know, working on for the last few years.
Yeah. Well, that's what, you know, on the other side, like, because I knew you when we were doing the Latin Grammys with Juan Gabriel back in 2008. So I knew you as a session guy, the same way I was a session guy there, you know, but then I actually came across your album, and that's when I got, you know, changed the perceptions, like, oh, I didn't know this side. Like, sometimes people don't know other sides of, you know.
Right, and that's a whole nother topic where I here, mostly because my experience is here, but it's once you're inside a certain shelf, to get out of that shelf into another shelf, it takes a while. It's hard. It's hard
like a
work.
separate career.
Yeah, it's a separate career. Because it's almost if you have to start from zero.
Right.
And you need to, okay, now I only do this because otherwise.
Right.
But at the same time, nowadays you have to, you know, earn your living, or take care of your financial situation, and be ordered to
do your artistry.
To do your art,
But I think it's yours, you know, like mine, like so many other. I think it's a story of consistency, a story of just believing that it'll happen and keeping.
And it is. You have to keep doing and keep doing and keep doing, and it's we tend to want results immediately, and those never happen.
Right.
Everybody knows about the overnight sensation, but it's not the overnight thing. The person has spent the last 10 years working on that for that.
Absolutely. You don't know what's behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're going to include in the description, we're going to include links to well, obviously not only Meu Sueño, but all, you know, Grecco's album and some of the other fun stuff that he's been doing. And
cool.
And thank you for being here, man.
Thank
and
you.
Hopefully this is valuable information for people that are out there.
Yeah.
And because that's what it's all about, sharing our experience. We're here trying to make something happen. So, you know, I think this is the point of these conversations, to help people
sharing,
get inspired and know what in our experience works and doesn't work. You know? So thank you so much. Thanks, Grecco.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.